Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I am here not alone. I'm with my friend, and we are going to be talking about the foolishness that is Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 12. Why is this even Episode 12? Because nothing happened, nothing went on, none of these people are connected, everybody's fooling us, and they really get on my nerves, but I hope you guys are having a good day. We'll talk about what happened on the show, so let's just get to it. Okay, so Morier and Katarina go on their date, but before Morier gets there, Katarina is talking to her cousin, and the cousin is who Katarina really is. Who we see on the screen is not Katarina. That's somebody else. That's somebody that want to stay on the show. So everything that Katarina is bringing up, the cousin is saying the exact opposite. Moving out the country, the cousin's just like, oh no, I know you wouldn't be open to that. Katarina says, yes, she was. And the cousin looks confused. When children are brought up, the cousin is looking like, yeah, because we don't do that. We don't date men with kids. Been there, done that. Katarina said, well, he has a 10-year-old son. And the cousin was like, what? What the hell? Like, this is not what we do. What are you talking about? And see, the cousin, you shouldn't have invited her, Katarina. She blew the lid on your whole operation. We now know that the cousin is who you are as well. You don't want any of these things. You don't want Morier. You just want to stay on the show. So when Morier finally does get there, they do address a lot. The cousin was grilling, first of all, completely grilled on location, definitely about this whole children thing. And I know last week somebody said in the comments it should be a red flag to the women that Morier wants to move out the country and not take his child with him. Oh. He taking his child with him. You want to know why? Because he gonna have full custody of his 10-year-old son. And so the cousin is like, really? And she's gonna let you take him all the way to Africa? And he said, well, you keep asking me about that, but I'm telling you, when it comes to my baby mama, I got this all in control.
He said they got a real good relationship. They're real good. They do everything together.
To the point where the cousin asks, oh, like y'all are together, right? Morier was caught off guard, like, well, no, not like we're together. But when he said control, that just really threw the cousin off. Like, I'm not feeling him. I don't like him. And so then to further mess him up for the rest of the date, she asked Morier to stand up. Now, I thought she was asking Morier to stand up because he's a husky guy. And I thought she was trying to see his shape, I guess. I don't know. I got uncomfortable when she said it. But when I realized that she was asking Katarina to stand up as well so that we could see the height difference, I was outdone. I was completely outdone.
Katarina has at least a good 5 inches.
A good 5. And she probably had on heels, but I just never noticed it before. And Katarina, you lying, girl. You look like the type that wants somebody to be your height or taller. And I know somebody gonna be like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, maybe it shouldn't, but my point is Katarina is lying. That's all I'm saying. I don't think she wants Morier. I don't think she likes him like that. I think she wanted to make it to the end of the show, and she did. She did achieve that, but there's no way you're telling me with the way that cousin was talking to her that Katarina would move out the country, that Katarina would be a stepmother to a 10-year-old, that somebody got full custody of in Africa. And she 5 inches taller than him.
So wait, he don't have custody now?
They have. They just share. They share custody.
So, I don't understand. Why can't he take him out to Africa? Like, what makes him think that that's a good idea?
I don't know, because they had the same issue, and now we're seeing I know you don't watch the show, but now we're seeing the ramifications of it on Love and Marriage Huntsville when Maurice moved to Detroit. A lot of women were in agreement with it, including myself, when he said he wanted to bring his son out there. He didn't move to Detroit. When he moved to Huntsville from Detroit, I was in agreement with it as well, because I felt like the boy needed to be with his father. Me too. I was the same way. And there was one person in my comments, that was like, and it was a guy, and he said, why should the son have to make a sacrifice because Maurice wanted to move to Huntsville? And so we're now seeing the ramifications of the son moving to Huntsville, and we now see that Maurice wasn't even really ready to raise him full time on his own. He just moved him there because he wanted it to seem right. Like, I got my boy with me. And so I'm not saying Morier's going to do that same thing, but yeah, what puts you, y'all already doing everything together now. So what puts you in a position now to say, all right, I'm going to take him and I'm going to do everything by myself, or I got it, you know, solo dolo in Africa at that, a 10-year-old. So I don't know. That is a lot to think about. But this child, we doing all of this. Katarina ain't ready for it anyway. She wasn't ever gonna do it.
No.
She wasn't ever gonna do it, but she did make it to the end. So I guess kudos to you, girl. Okay, so next we have Morier and Jessica's date. Now, first of all, y'all, which one of y'all did it? Which one of y'all told Gerald Levert Jr. to wear that candy stripe outfit to the date? And then the buttons was hollering on the door. I said, Morier, now if you gonna wear it, it needs to fit. The doggone buttons was hollering at the bottom. I said Gerald Levert would not ever wear that on a date. And then when he came in, Jessica said, look at you. It seemed like shade to me. Okay, but let's start from the beginning of the date before he even walked in. So Jessica has him meeting a cousin. Smart move, okay? I done told y'all, get like these men. Bring old cuzzo to the date. Don't bring your mom and your aunt. Don't bring people who really matter. So, no shade to Mercole. Mercole is her name, y'all. Mercole was cool, but we almost wondered if Jessica told her not to ask certain questions because they didn't dive deeply into anything.
No, she kept it very surface. Very surface.
She was asking him what his short-term goals and his long-term goals were. And it was at that moment that we realized that Morier is an entrepreneur. What does he do? What's the it just say entrepreneur at the bottom of the screen. Entrepreneur of what? Does anybody know? I ain't trying to be rude to my, entrepreneurs out there, but I need to know what he does, because he said he hopes to own his own restaurant. What does he have now? A food truck? I don't know what he has, and he's not stating what he has either. So then he's talking about, Mercole asked him, is he gonna have time if he were to get his own restaurant? And he was like, well, actually, I guess I'll have a floor manager, so I'll have my free time. You don't even got the restaurant, and you already talking about you gonna have a floor manager? That's lofty thinking, I guess. And then, is the restaurant gonna be in Africa? I don't know. I just think it wasn't enough hard questions asked. But for somebody out there who knows, what is he entrepreneuring over? What is it?
Has he talked about cooking?
I don't know. I don't recall. I don't recall even Morier talking about cooking. Now, they do bring up Jessica's cooking, and apparently homegirl can't cook nothing but eggs. Allegedly.
Her and Mercole cooking eggs.
Her and Mercole done cook eggs. So this whole thing, I just honestly feel like before the camera started rolling, Jessica said, look, girl, don't ask none of them questions, because I do like him. And I don't want it to look like we not compatible. So don't ask about the children. Don't ask about Africa. And don't really ask him what he does for a living, because I don't know.
Okay, girl.
And that's how that conversation went. And Mercole said, I got you, cuz. And didn't ask no hard questions. So y'all can tell me what y'all thought about this whole Morier and his 2 dates. We already know, we knew who Morier was going to choose in the end. But the dates overall just were weird. But Katarina's cousin was probably the best out of the 2. That's who I enjoyed the most. All right. So Janelle, y'all's favorite pit bull, and Q, it's time for their date. Now, Janelle introduces Q to her cousin, and right when Q gets there, they get right into it. I love the cousin for this. He asks Q how he feels about dating an older woman, to which Q replies, it's his first time dating someone older than him, and they don't really make it a big thing. They don't really discuss it. It doesn't really bother them like that. And the cousin says, okay, well, that's nice, but I mean, are you sure that you're okay with it? And I was really glad the cousin pushed it, because yeah, I mean, y'all might like each other. Y'all might have great chemistry, which I don't deny that they like each other. I do believe that he likes her.
Absolutely.
But we're not going to act like age is not an issue when we're talking about the future and the things that they want. Q wants 3 children. And he says that he knows that she has a timeline and that doesn't exactly work for her. To which Janelle states that she could probably do 1.5. What the hell is the half? What is the half, y'all? What's the half a baby? 6 months pregnant? 4? What is the half a child that she's going to be doing? She did say she was also interested in adopting. Now, last week, Q said he wanted his own biological children, but when we get to the end, we're going to talk about how Q done changed his tune a little bit on that. I don't know. I just think they're both kind of living in this, we really like each other. Well, Q is. I don't know about Janelle. She might be a little more realistic. But Q is living in, we really like each other, so everything else is going to work itself out. And that also lets me know that his maturity level is probably not where it needs to be either. Because that's no way to go about.
Remember, he says that he is a relationship guy too, so he
Correct.
Just fell for her.
Yeah. He just likes to be in a relationship.
Just likes it.
That's true. He loves the idea of a relationship, but not considering the compromises that you're going to have to make to be with Janelle, from children to attitude, because even that didn't get formally addressed. When he tried to address it with her, he's scared of this woman. He couldn't even get it out. So I just think he's not being realistic. Now, Janelle, on the other hand, she being realistic about what she want. I want to get married in a year or less, and I can give you 1 child, maybe, because we got to fall in love today and I got to get pregnant tomorrow, because she says she is 42. And Janelle also, when Q leaves, says to her cousin, can you imagine 3 children in my house? That let me know that even at 22, Janelle was not going to have 3 kids. That just never seemed like a thing for her. She never states that she once wanted a huge family. I've never heard her say any of that. So Janelle is very clear about what she wants. I don't know if Q is as clear about what he wants and what he's going to need down the road. It's just, everything feels good right now. All right. So next we have Aries and Phil. And this date was an absolute disaster. Aries, you think you nickel slick, but I got your penny change. You knew that was going to happen. You knew your mama and your sister was going to run down on him like that. You knew it. You knew it. You were sitting there calm, acting like, oh, I didn't know it was I needed a bigger glass. You knew that was going to happen, Aries. You set that man up. And I don't know if it was right or wrong, but I think it helped her to see even further that they were not going to be compatible. So when Phil gets there, he only got 2 sets of roses. And that's another reason I know Aries set him up. Why you didn't tell him that it was going to be 3 flower sets that he needed to buy, 3 dozens that he needed to buy? You didn't even tell him that, Aries. You let that man show up with 2 things of flowers and no vases. Because where they going to put the flowers? Huh? Where they going to put the flowers, y'all? Stop doing that. Get the vase. See, when I get people flowers, I bring the vase. Okay? But that's just me. So anyway, he shows up. He already sweating hard because he didn't bring all the flowers he was supposed to bring. Then they sit down, and I must say, Aries' mama is cute as well. So we know Aries still gonna be good looking, even at an older age. She was very cute and very sassy herself. So when they sit down, I already knew what was about to happen, just due to the precursor conversations they had already had before Phil got there. And one of the first things they get into is leadership. Leadership. Like, how do you feel about leadership? What kind of man are you with that? Phil says that he's the type of man that kind of want to piggyback off of her and see what you think about things. And we talk together about these things. Phil wasn't wrong, but the word piggyback, Now, later on, I think he does say collaborate. That's probably the word he should have used in the beginning, because piggyback sounds like whatever you say, I'm going to roll along with it. And was the mama named Janet? I think the mama name was Janet. Janet wasn't feeling that. She was not, her face was like, piggyback. We don't do no piggybacking, honey. And he was just like, he doesn't feel like he should get all of the final say and make the final decision just because he's a man. Oh, that confirmed it for Janet. She was like, get this jive turkey out of here. She was not feeling anything that Phil was saying. So then, right before they get ready to eat, religion comes up. And y'all, Phil said he was a Buddhist. Now, how many of y'all knew Phil was a Buddhist? This ain't came up damn time in the show that I know of. Have you heard it come up?
No. Phil didn't know what he was. He said he's a spiritual. Now all of a sudden he's Buddhist.
I think he just started Buddhism last week, and he said there's a lot of self-management. You know what? He not Buddhist because he didn't even know what to say.
He did.
When Tina Turner used to talk about Buddhism, baby, we got a full layout of her Buddhist life. Phil said it's a lot of self-management, and that worked for me. Okay, we not laugh because he might really be a Buddhist, but the mama wasn't feeling that. She was like, well, we're Christian. And he was like, I understand that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. At this time, this when Phil get to sweating. He got to pull out the napkin. And he does end up doing the prayer, to which I don't think he did that to her either. And it's right around this time that Phil says, I know how it can be sometimes with people who are very religious. And this is just going to bring up again me not being good enough. Let's pause right there with this whole not being good enough talk. Just because you are not compatible with a person does not mean that you are not good enough for them. It just means you guys are not in alignment with where the two of you are going. You all aren't compatible. Let's please stop with every time somebody doesn't match up to what you are aligned with, or you are where you're going in your life. Oh, I'm not good enough for you, or she's not good enough for me. No, she's just not aligned to where you're going. Mm-hmm. He's just not aligned to where you're going. I don't think Phil is a bad guy. I don't even think what he said about collaborating is a bad idea. You know, there are some people who would rather have more of a partnership. But then there are people like Aries and her mom and her sister who like their men to have the final say, to be in the leadership position, to dominate even, if you will. They enjoy that. That's something that they like to have in their life. And what's funny about it is they embody all of the things that a lot of the men today are saying that they want. Mm-hmm. They said they want a woman who knows her place and knows what place that a man is supposed to be in. So I hope I don't hear too much pushback about the things that they were saying, because I thought these current conversations was what men wanted.
Because Phil is unsure of his career and his findings.
Yes.
He's not going to be able to lead. You know?
I mean, yeah, true enough.
He doesn't even want to put that title on himself because he can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is, he's never going to come out and say that, because you know how sensitive he gets about his career, which we're going to talk about that next. But yeah, he can't really, he knows that he can't really have the final say, because he might not have
the final
say. The final pay. Yes. He might not have final say finances, unfortunately. And so he needs Aries to be able to make those decisions, you know, when he can.
So he can piggyback.
Off of those. Just like we say that men should go after the women who are already the type of women they want, not try to get her and then change her. Women got to do the same thing. She can't get with Phil and hope that those leadership qualities jump out. No, she has to find somebody that already embodies those things. So the same thing that we tell men to do, it applies for the women as well. And the fact that Aries has already been married twice makes me wonder if she's done this before. Like, if she's gone for the guy that was funny and made her feel good and married him, only to find out that that didn't work for her. She doesn't outright say it, but because she keeps bringing it up, I feel like that is a mistake that she has made, and she's trying really hard to make sure she doesn't make it again. But I can't say for sure. Lastly, Phil and his jokes. So Phil finally does give us a little more clarity as to what he does for a living, I think, and brings up how he's a comic and he's not scared to get on stage. And the sister was like, oh, comedian, are those jokes lucrative for you? And Phil said, well, no. I said, Phil, can you just try to lie? Phil said, well, no, not when you just starting out. Starting out? He just starting back again with his comedy. I guess he used to do it in the past, and now he's trying to start it back up. And I guess y'all remember when he said that he went back to the 9 to 5. He must have been working a 9 to 5 during this period of time, and now he's starting to get back into his comedy bag. Oh God, child, Mama Janet didn't like that either. She didn't like none of what Phil was talking about. Once he left, y'all, baby, they went in on Phil. The mama said, you talking about being a comedian at this age, you need to have some stability. You too old for that. And listen, I kind of agree with her, and I only agree with her because I'm not much of a, I'm not really like a creative. I don't have that kind of mindset about things. Like, I do know people who literally can't work a 9 to 5. Like, their body, their mental can't do it. So I'm not that type of person. So I am more of along the side of the mama. But I also believe that there's no age where you can't achieve the goals and the dreams that you set out for yourself. And so if you want to be a comic, go for it and be a comic. But don't expect everybody to align to that lifestyle. I never have understood why creatives don't date other creatives. Why don't y'all be in that together? Be in that studio apartment together. You know, be hungry for the dream together.
Somebody always wants somebody to have their back and hold them down.
And I'm sorry, nobody. And then when you're with a person like Aries, who obviously doesn't necessarily embrace that mindset, and telling them like, oh, well, just support me and have my back in it, just like I would have yours, you wouldn't have to have mine. I'm not a creative. I would never put you in this position. So I don't know. I applaud him for wanting to live his dreams or whatever, but he's going to have to understand that everybody is not going to mesh up to that. There's some women who will. They might not look like Aries, and they might not have the financial stability like Aries, but there are some women who going. There are some women who's going, and I think there's somebody for Phil. I just,
Is it fair to say that I want to see Phil stand up? Can we find it?
I would like to see if Phil is funny. And that also will let us know if he should still be following these dreams. Only thing I don't agree with is rapping. Now, if you're rapping in your 40s, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. That's probably like one of the only careers where I'm like, no. No, and stripping. I don't want to see no 40-something-year-old stripper. I don't care how good you look. You know, some stuff you need to make your investments and sit it on down. But anyway, what y'all think about Aries and Phil's date? I know that part was a little bit longer. All right, y'all. That stupid song. They play that stupid song again. I wish they would just play I Choose You instead of playing No, It Took Me Some Time to Get Me the Place We... And then they slow it down. They get up. I hate that theme song. Because why? Why did it take you some... Y'all have heard me go through this so many times. I'm not going over it again. All right, so who chooses who? So Jessica shows up, baby. She prom hairdo ready, okay? I think she had pin curls. She shows up, and Morier chose her. I don't remember his whole spiel, but Jessica kept saying that she might be ready to go to Africa and be with the ancestors. And that was funny to me, y'all. I don't care. I don't care. So she might be ready to meet up with him and be with the ancestors. He doesn't choose Katarina. They have more of a friend vibe, he said. That's all they ever had. But Katarina made it to the end. I thought it was messed up that they didn't even show Katarina. It's like she didn't even exist. She didn't even get to get dressed. Like, where was she? Was she in the back? Because, anyway, y'all, did they call her and say, hey, Gerald Levert Jr. not going to choose you, so just stay home? Then we have Q and Janelle. They did choose each other. We knew they were going to, but I'm still a little worried because Q makes the comment in his confessionals at the end that he's thought about it and he is willing to possibly adopt. How? How have you made it there, and how have you made it there that quickly? And why does it seem like Q is willing to make these compromises, but they haven't really what would Janelle be compromising on her end? Like, will she be willing to try IVF so maybe they can have twins? Like, what are we gonna do here? And then when are we also gonna address her attitude? Because Q has a problem with that too. He all but said it. So when are we gonna address these things? I don't know. I feel like that boy doing a lot of compromising. He either lying to us or he lying to himself or both. But we have that to see. Then we have Aries and Phil. Y'all, I was so embarrassed. I wanted to run out the room for their scene. Aries showed up knowing that she wasn't. She showed up in this red sparkly dress like the devil she was gonna be. She knew she wasn't gonna choose this man. Phil knew he wasn't gonna get chose. He was like, I choose you. He had his fingers crossed behind his back. Phil showed up, y'all, and he brought her a gift. Guess what the gift was? It was a baseball.
For her daddy.
And it was a baseball for her father. Phil, the father that wouldn't have approved of you. Okay? But he brought the baseball saying that he knows how important that is. I'm not saying it wasn't sweet, but I just knew that boy was not about to get chose. Like, I was sitting on pins and needles, and Aries was like, I choose myself. Because, again, she brings up the stability and all of that stuff. And I know Phil. It's hard not to feel bad for him because I really do think he likes her. But y'all just not aligned with you're not going where she going right now. And although it's unfortunate and you might like people, y'all are not in y'all early 20s where y'all can possibly grow into something else and things might be different, baby. Y'all where y'all at. Okay, everybody either 40 or knocking on 40. Ain't too much about to change. And you say you just not getting back started. And my friend says she is going to look for Phil's comedy, y'all, to see if he is funny. And if we find a video, we gonna post a link so y'all can see. But in the end, y'all, those are the couples. This season was trash. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. They wasted all of our time. So y'all get ready. We gonna watch the little Ready to Love spinoff with the girls that we don't like, except for Ashley and Vernisha. And see what they talking about. See how they plan on wasting our time for this beautiful fall. Y'all like him, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all thought about the couples or lack thereof. Bye.